So if setup is here, my left arm and the shaft is in one line. I go from here to loaded at the top. So now I have about 90 degrees here.
Yeah.
Now we either have to keep that the same for most of the downswing, or we actually sharpen that angle, so we increase the load of the wrist by kicking the shaft back and doing this.
Oh, okay.
So that's something you'll see with like a lot of the good players too, and a lot of the longer hitters. It compresses a little bit. That also delays the release.
Okay.
So it gives us a little more time before this thing lets out, but also creates more speed because then we have more angle to throw.
Yeah.
The rule of thumb is by the time the hands get to the leg, so it's like my left hand will kind of get to the front of my right thigh, like this.
Yeah.
This shaft is still here. It's still parallel to the ground.
Okay.
And so that's essentially when it's actually time to release.
Yeah.
It's all about getting to here first, and then momentum will kind of take over.
Okay.
And so by the time I get to here too, the right arm, or your left arm, is going to be pinned to the side. It's connected to the torso. Yeah. Even when we release a shaft at the ball, even when I let this club hit the ball, this is still connected.
Okay.
So like I'm hitting it like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm not going to actually separate.
So it's like kind of staying on my right side or left side.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So like your left arm is going to be on your torso like this.
Yeah.
And you can hit a ball, and you're still going to have a connection there. So it's like your elbow still touching you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's really not until we release the club to the ball, that's when the arm can start to separate from the body like this. And so we turn, the arm circles around the body, the hands circle around the body,
Yeah.
the arms extend, we get to that look, and then in the finish, then we refold the elbows and recock the wrists.
Okay.
What you do with your trail arm is one of the reasons why the shaft is not loading.
Okay.
And it's going to be one of the reasons why on the downswing, you're going to see the shaft start dumping early, so that that angle starts to let out a lot sooner than you need to.
Yeah, and then you start scooping it.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
The only time you can have space there is like the top of the backswing.
Okay.
If I start here and I go in the takeaway, I'm actually going to keep the arm on my side early.
Okay.
As I set the wrists. Once I make it to the top of the backswing, the arm can separate a little bit.
Okay.
So now there's a little bit of space here, and that's okay.
I think like, cause like I don't hinge early, and so then I could feel myself like getting disconnected right here. So I was like, I would almost need to start hinging. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because now I can stay connected, but if I just don't hinge, then I get super unconnected right here.
Right.
And it kind of messes it up, right?
So I like to feel like we connect the right arm to the side early.
Yeah.
So once I start moving my wrists, my arm connects.
Okay.
And then so we want to have like a connection early, followed by a little bit of a separation here to the very top so I can have length.
Yeah.
And then a reconnection early again on the downswing. It's on the side, it's off the side, then it's back on the side, then it stays on the side.
Okay.
Doesn't leave the side until until the ball's long gone.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. Well, you know, the relationship between like sway and hip turn
Yeah.
is that you can't really do them both at the same time.
Okay,
Right,
you only
because-
do one or the other.
Right, because if I stood in the same spot and I just did this, that's hip turn, right?
Yeah.
But if I sway, there's no turning involved.
Got
So it's
it.
like any time that I spend doing this is time that I don't spend doing that.
Yeah.
Centered, turning in a barrel just means the tailbone has no side-to-side movement. So if we just stop here at the top of the backswing, you can see the tailbone is now over there.
Yeah.
So that's like a good 5 inches backward of hip sway.
Yeah. It's a lot.
So the average pro, and like let's say the average pro is going to move toward the target with their hips like 5 to 6 inches.
Okay.
And that's 5 to 6 inches from the kind of starting point.
Yeah, so like I gotta move like 10 inches, which is literally impossible.
Right. Yeah, it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work. So having moved this far off the ball in the backswing, with the arm disconnected like this,
Yeah.
now I have to go 10 inches that way with the hips. So I'm gonna have to like rescue that somehow by swaying a lot back toward the target.
Yeah.
Well, what happens too is the arm, my right arm, your left arm, doesn't catch up when you do this.
Okay.
So like someone who sways like this in the backswing, they're not usually gonna rescue it by getting the
Swaying,
arms back in front of them on the downswing because it's just so hard to do.
That's impossible.
Yeah. So by the time you actually start moving back again, the arms are so far behind the hips. There's just a disconnection.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And that's also one of the reasons why you're throwing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So here's my borders. It's because of the way the hips are shaped that if I rotate centered and I do that, my left side stays on this line.
Yeah.
Right side moves away from this line.
Okay. Yeah.
So right now you have the opposite. You have right side getting onto the back line, lead side moving away. That's where that look happens. We have to start here where we keep the tailbone in the same spot. And then from there, then we go forward. So by the time I actually hit a ball, my hips are well outside of this line,
Okay.
right? My lower body is forward. Now that allows me to get my hands forward.
Okay. So for a left-hander, is like I'm initially creating space on that left side,
Right.
and then you come forward.
From there, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I mean, the space on the left side will almost always be there and increase like when you start your downswing.
Yes,
Okay.
yeah. The weight does go back in the backswing.
Yeah.
So let's say that we start off 50-50. I tend to like 55-45 or 60-40 at the most.
Okay.
As far as lead to back. I may start with my weight forward to start. Immediately, I'll kind of pressure shift backward.
Okay.
And when I do that, I'm moving all my weight into the instep of my back foot. Like this.
And, okay,
It's always
so-
here. It's never in the middle.
Okay.
And I definitely don't want it outside either, because if that would mean I'm rolling the foot out like this. I'm going from kind of a little bit favoring the lead side to start, and then I go from lead side to the back
Got it.
without letting the tailbone go backward. So I can't let myself move back, because then I'll throw off the pressure in my foot.
Yeah.
So it's on the instep here in the backswing.
Okay, that's very important.
Yeah.
And
then on the downswing, I have to use that pressure here as a pushing off point to get
yeah.
forward. Yeah.
Got it.
So I'm going from here to here, and then I gotta go.
Okay.
Yeah. A line on my knees and a line on my hips. In my backswing, there's like a little wind up, so there's like the knees and the hips are moving in a circle.
Okay.
The knees will move around, this line will move around 30 degrees this way.
Okay.
The hips will go around 45 degrees.
Okay.
So here's my hips and here's my knees at the backswing.
So hips a little bit more open than
Yeah.
the knees.
Yeah.
Okay.
On the downswing, there's a little bit of a lateral move forward, so it's just sliding that way.
Okay.
So I kind of want to slide first. We go forward, and then we start to unwind.
Okay.
So the knees will go from here, square it set up, to open here, to I go forward, then they start to circle back around.
Okay.
So when I go from here forward and then circle the hips back around like this, I'm kind of back to square. Here is when I'm here.
Yeah. That's like
So
when
that,
your elbows
right,
connected.
Exactly.
Okay.
So elbows connected here, arms still, arms are in front of my body, shaft is still parallel to the ground, and then from here I have to rotate, and then I can straighten out the legs.
Okay.
So there's a jump and a
Yeah.
rotation happening here.
Okay.
All that assumes that you're also forward too,
Okay.
because I don't want to be here and go back, and then
Yeah.
do that, because I'll have too much pressure on the back foot.
Yeah.
It's going from here to forward, a little down too. So there's a little bit of a squat. Especially the better we get, the more you're gonna see that.
Yeah.
Squat and go forward and unwind, and then phew. So here is impact with my legs here.
Got it.
Left leg is straight, right leg kicks in, and the right foot rolls. So your left foot.
Yeah.
So you're gonna be, so you're gonna look like this in the backswing, or this in the backswing, this on the downswing, and then here at impact.
Okay.
Hmm.
And so like, just like when I go like practice by myself, I'm like, is it like the swing first, rotation, then like, I feel like I'm like very bad at like working on multiple things like initially.
Yeah, and that's fine. That's okay.
At first, so yeah.
We can split off into two halves. Half of it is you practice the swing as if you have no arms.
Okay.
Right? If you're just
I
this,
like that. Yeah.
how are we going to learn how to move? We
Yeah.
work on the rotation. We work on like keeping our tailbone still, head still, making sure the tilts are good.
Okay.
So we learn how to hit a ball with no arms first.
Yeah.
So that means like if I could just set up to a ball and I just go. Phew. We learn how to do that first, and then after we get a little more familiar with the body part,
Yeah.
then we can think about the arms in isolation.
Okay.
Now that this is in place, boom. Yeah. So this here is your full backswing. On the downswing, now it's time to reconnect this to the side. So we drop this down vertically pretty much as we shift the weight forward. So you're down and forward with the hands. So this is that delivery point.
Yeah.
Now it's time to do that. Right.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, good. Hey.
It's not bad.
That was pretty good. Okay. Was that pretty good?
Yeah.